Hi there. Today in this video, we're going to look at how to identify your true self from your relationships. Do you think you know who you truly are? Does it change when you're in different situations? Or do you stay the same no matter what's going on or who's around? And how much of this really matters to you? In this video, we're going to break down what it means to know our truest self and how to reveal more of ourselves to gain a deeper wisdom with a few questions. Revealing ourselves and who we are is really a lifelong journey, and it's an unpeeling of layers. The shedding and the stripping down to our core comes through relationships with ourselves and with others. When we're born, our core self is vulnerable and exposed, but it's usually through familial and societal conditioning that we start to lacquer on these people-pleasing techniques and ways in which we try to fit in to be accepted. It's within our deep human need to feel accepted by our social groups. But sometimes the cost of that is limiting our own self-expression. We all need to feel connected and bond with others to thrive, but sometimes those collective thoughts and group think can overpower our individualism, and we tend to get lost in the shuffle. Our core being never changes, which is the essence of our soul. And it's usually during these intimate relationships that we have with our friends and our lovers that it's our true expression that's able to get exposed. It's when we're sitting in those raw moments that we're quickly faced with developing our character and we're tested on how we're going to respond, such as, what we say versus what we actually mean, what we think versus how we act. And each instance shapes us by either strengthening our core or stripping it down to its bareness. Why does this even matter? We're always in our authentic state, but how much we reveal to ourselves and others depends on how much we really want to know ourselves. Let me give you a few examples. The further away we get from acknowledging who we truly are, the longer we stay in this mental fog. The more distance we push our own true nature to people please, to be put in these situations, the harder it is to connect to ourselves, to really understand our own wants and needs and desires. The longer we dismiss what we need, our core needs of taking care of ourselves, of getting what it is that we really, really want, the sooner we're more likely to burn out because we're helping everyone else and not ourselves. And the greater we distract ourselves from our goals, the higher levels of anxiety and depression that we're setting ourselves up for. I believe our role is to be a creator, and the only way to tap into this raw creative energy is being in our truest state of being. And creating what we want in our lives is intertwined with navigating from a place of honest authenticity. And in order to do that, we have to clear away any projections that others have put on us and return back to our purest form of ourselves. One of the best ways in finding our truest self is to take a look back in our relationships. We know that everything is connected and everything is relational. And it's within those relationships that we can really start to see a reflection of where we've put ourselves, where we've put our love. And knowing that love is one of the most powerful emotions, we have to ask ourselves, how much were we able to love and give our love to ourselves and to others? And depending on where you've placed that, will expose your true nature. Past experiences hold gems of wisdom, but we have to learn how to ask the right questions to dig and get them out. Typically, the most precious and hidden wisdom comes from moments where there was the most pain and loss felt. And I know it's challenging to look back and sort through the muck and the mire, but shielding ourselves from a personal truth to look at this actually creates some unnecessary harm of deceit. And we're lying to ourselves because we want to mask things that we should actually be seeing. We want to move through a self-assessment process, always with kindness and compassion. We want to swap out those mental tactics of attacking ourselves, judging ourselves, and replace it with compassionate thoughts and just curious questions of why things happened the way they did, how we respond to things, so that we can objectively look at situations. And as we season over time, we learn how we can start to blossom and refine ourselves and letting that core of ourselves shine through all the experiences that we've had. So consider reflecting on your relationships to help you reveal who you truly are as you keep growing and you keep evolving. Here are a few questions that I'm going to present to you. Pause the video if you need to reflect and answer them. This is a great thing to journal on. Question number 1, what feedback have I received from loved ones? Is there any element of truth to what was being said? It's always hard to hear, but sometimes feedback is important for us to grow so that we can really take a look at ourselves. Question number 2, how have I been able to handle conflict? It's in moments of crisis that show us who we really are and how we handle intense emotions. Question number 3, how have I been able to confront and deal with loss? When something doesn't go right or we've lost something or someone, how have we been able to handle grief over the long haul? How are we able to cope with it? Question number 4, how do I manage emotional hurt and pain? Over time, is the hurt and pain still lingering, or have we managed to alchemize it into a resolution and recover? Question number 5, what positive characteristics or traits can I see in myself when faced with challenges? When challenges come up, how have I risen to the occasion? Am I able to stay focused and disciplined in what I've set out for? How have I been there for others? Question number 6, what could I do differently by learning from past mistakes? We all make mistakes. Am I able to see what the lesson was and learn from the behavior so I know how to correct it in the future? Number 7, looking at all of these, what are my personal non-negotiables? We all want to have a set of core beliefs and values that guide us so that we can set positive boundaries. And a boundary is not to push anyone away. It's more for us to stand in our own integrity and to build relationships that are healthy. And number 8, what role do I really play in my relationships? Am I always aggressive? Am I always passive? Am I able to communicate what I want in a clear way? Am I giving or taking more than I should? So overall, these questions are here to serve as thought starters in learning lessons of what you might have gained and to reveal more of who you really are. We're never really lost. We only have moments of feeling disconnected. And what we want is to build bridges back to ourselves so that when we do the work, it's a faster and easier way to come home to ourselves so that we don't feel that loss, we don't feel that fog. I appreciate you being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.